World, this is the WVON Morning Show. It's your man, Maze Jackson. We are about to get this day cracking, getting ready to get started. It is Friday. I'm looking for
state-of-the-art facilities. In your search, City Colleges of Chicago. Today, City Colleges can work for you at ccc.edu or call 773.
You're broadcasting live? I gotta tell you about my lunch experience yesterday, man.
Look no further. Griffin Orthodontics specializes in the alignment of teeth, better known as braces. Leveraging today's latest digital technology, Dr. Boncio Griffin Burris and her highly trained staff can create results that change how you look and feel. Whether you need braces for children.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning. How is everybody this morning? What's up, baby girl? Hello to my beautiful and lovely wife, Commissioner Carrie Steele. What's up, D.S. Sanders? Who else is out here with us? What up, Cortland Noble? Charles the camera is on you.
Griffin Orthodontics in the Delaware area at 119 Southwestern Avenue, 773-239-7696. That's 773-239-7696.
It's time for the show. Good morning, y'all. All right, let's get it cracking. It's all right. What up, DS? What up, Cortland? What up to my beautiful and lovely wife, Commissioner Carrie Steele? We have got an action-packed show for you all today. We'll be talking Comey, social media question of the day, NBA, Cubs versus... What the hell? We'll be talking about the Cubs and this craziness going on with Addison Russell, plus the conversation of resegregation. We'll talk to Billy Branch, possibly in the Chicago Blues Fest. Arne Duncan will be in at 8 o'clock. And then don't forget the announcement for the Taste of WVON lineup. It is going to be an action-packed show. How about that Ice Cube yesterday? That was pretty good. I listened back to that interview. Really some interesting things. I'm excited to watch Bill Maher tonight to see how that goes. I don't know if I heard him ask, if anybody else asked him about Bill Maher yesterday. We might have to chop that up and get that out there. But ladies and gentlemen, we are about to get it cracking. Good morning, Erica. Good morning, KM. Good morning, Linda McGill. What's up, everybody? Charles, the camera is on you.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. Ending another week here at the Maze Jackson Morning Show on WVON. And yeah, as always, you never know what to expect. Because, we read in, but we don't rehearse. And, you get to think about stuff as it happens here on the Maze Jackson Show. And we'll be talking about some controversial matters, if you will. Man, how about this Comey situation? Yeah, is this the beginning of the end of Donald Trump? Well, that's something to think about. And a lot of people, I think, are short-sighted when they think about the perhaps beginning of the end of Donald Trump. Because you can't think about the end of Donald Trump until you think about the beginning of something else. Always remember that. Be careful what you might wish for. Then we're going to talk about this guy, this young man playing for the, what's the name of that team? It's another team on the other side of town. What's that? The Cubs. This kid plays for the Cubs. We're going to talk about him, man. This boy's in a social media mess. Y'all know something about that.
The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There's so much hatred, war and poverty. Oh, wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. They're the ones who's coming up, and the world is in their hands. When you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. Na 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 na. What's up, DS? What up, Big Jim? How y'all feeling out there? What up, Chappelle? Chappelle, I appreciate you for yesterday. Thank you so much. What up, Felicia Gatewood? What up? What up, Erica Swain? I appreciate all y'all in the Lions Den. I appreciate all the encouragement. Thank you. When you make them happy before they pass away. Take up all the time to build a new land. Now we can do it, and we all in the hand. We have to do is put it in our minds. They do it every time. The world won't get no better. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, let me open and then you can go to it. Good morning, world. Good morning, Chicago. This is the WVOM Morning Show. It's your man, Maze Jackson. I am the host of the WVOM Morning Show. Got my main man, Charles Thomas. Charles, how you feeling this morning, man? Can you get that mic? Yeah. Charles, how you feeling this morning, man?
I'm feeling pretty good. Hey, Sonia, good morning, babe. How you doing? Yeah.
I'm thanking God it's Friday today. Boy, I'm telling you, we got an action-packed show for you. I cannot wait. Now look, y'all, at 8:30, do not want to miss it. You got to be tuned in at 8:30 because we are going to be announcing the Taste of WVON lineup. That's right, 40,000 people in Lorraine-Dixon Park. I cannot wait to get on the stage, ladies and gentlemen. The lineup, the announcement, 8:30. Now, 8 o'clock, we're going to have Arne Duncan. Now, you all may remember Arne Duncan. He was the former CPS schools chief, right? CPS schools chief. You know what? The mayor has some questions about, the mayor has some things to say. So we're going to talk about that in this program. He's got trading hammers for guns. That sounds so familiar. Mark Carter. Give us a call, 773-591-1690 on them hammers for guns. Demetrius Nash, I want to hear from you too. Also, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking that discussion, resegregation. Resegregate. We're going to talk to Addison. Well, you know what, Charles? You were talking about this morning. This Addison Russell from the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, you know what grabs me about the story is the role of social media. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners and viewers on Facebook want to weigh in on this because this is a totally social media driven controversy.
Social media is pretty important in the world, man. People don't really realize how far it goes and how far the reach is.
Get locked up, lose your job.
You can do a lot of things with social media, man. It is crazy.
And it's not real.
And well, it can be very real depending on where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Tuning in, also, we have got Addison. We'll be talking to Addison Russell. Don't forget.
No, we'll be talking about Addison Russell.
Oh, we won't talk to him. Right, we won't talk to him. We will be talking about him. And then at 6:30, these Golden State Warriors, they are on the verge of sweeping LeBron and team.
The whole thing, man.
16-0.
Thank you.
That means
they're 15-0 right now, right?
So that means it's a big game tonight. They are 15-0 right now. That means they would sweep who they are now calling the greatest player in the universe, LeBron. You know, Stephen A. Smith had some interesting stuff to say yesterday about that too. He said, "Can LeBron really be the greatest if he gets swept?" I don't know if any of the greatest have ever been swept. So we'll talk about that. We've got the social media question of the day. But Charles, the biggest thing in the news, this Comey testimony.
Yeah, man. It was a big story yesterday, but I think I'm gonna ask you a question. What kind of story will it be on Monday?
You know,
will it be as big a story on Monday? I mean, as it is today, or will it be another big hype fest, flash in the pan, and then Monday, Trump's still the president, and they'll still be talking about it, but will they be talking about it as an imminent impeachment?
Right, that's exactly how I felt. You know, everybody got their popcorn out, they sat down, they were sitting. I mean, I think there was Comey watch parties. There were Comey watch parties, and people were eating popcorn, hoping that this guy was going to say something that was going to be the bombshell blockbuster that was going to end the presidency.
He called Donald Trump a liar. He actually called him a liar.
Yeah, and who hasn't called Donald Trump a liar, though? I mean, everybody's called Donald Trump a liar. This one, I was just kind of like, Sonia, you had it right. When I watched the testimony, I was kind of like, womp, womp, womp. Like, this is it? That's it? Now, I will tell you what I did find interesting. What I did find interesting in this testimony was that Loretta Lynch, in the Hillary Clinton investigation, told Comey to soften up how he referred to the investigation. She said, don't call it an investigation, call it a, you know what, I got to go back in my notes. I had it written down, but I can't remember. But basically, Loretta Lynch told James Comey in regards to the Hillary Clinton investigation, we should refer to it as a matter. Not an investigation. Do you think that's what her and Bill Clinton were talking about on the plane?
Yeah, the matter?
The matter.
Yeah, I think the thing that we all have to remember, we have to keep this in mind. This is a political process. A political process. This is not a criminal investigation. It's a political process that could lead to an impeachment.
And Republicans have control of the House, so why would they impeach themselves?
Well, you never know. But I tell you one thing about Democrats. Democrats better be very careful here, because the best thing for them, I think, would be for them to leave Donald Trump in office and use him as a target in 2018 to recapture at least the Senate. Because if they get rid of Donald Trump in the next few months, they got Mike Pence, and Mike Pence knows the game. And he's a true conservative, whereas Donald Trump's conservative credentials have always been suspect. But Mike Pence is a true conservative, and he knows the game in Washington, and he'll get stuff done in terms of dismantling the Obama legacy. So you got to be careful what you wish for if you're a Democrat, because Mike Pence, to this reporter's way of thinking, is the real deal.
I'm going to tell you, I just thought that James Comey came off like a disgruntled employee who got upset because somebody said that he wasn't a good leader. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we have got to go to traffic and weather, but when we come back, it's the social media question of the day. Stay tuned. This is Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, Charles Thomas, and our musical director, Sonia. We shall be back. Ooh. Okay, y'all. Good morning, everybody. Let me go through and say what's up on all the shout-outs. All right. Okay. Who's out there? Who's rocking? Give me some love. What up, Chappelle? What up, Commissioner Carey Steele? What's up, baby? Love you. What up? I got you, Chappelle. Dang, Chappelle, you talkative today. You was doing a lot of talking last night. KM Milton, what's up? Nate Williams, Dennis Evans, Henry Hartfield, KM Milton, Brian Farrell. Hey, Brian, appreciate you. Henry Hartsfield. Hotep, my brother, Hotep. What time is the game? You know what, babe? I don't know what time the game is. I think the game is probably at 8 o'clock. Is it in? Yeah, it's probably 8 o'clock.
It's in Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
Friday night, definitely 8 o'clock.
Okay, so we're thinking 8 o'clock. So that, and then we got to get off of that and watch. We got to probably tape Bill Maher because we got to see Cube go in. Y'all got to watch Cube on Bill Maher tonight, too. All right. Dang. What up, Eddie? Eddie, yes, we definitely want to do the Lingerie League, my brother. So please get us the contact information, the Chicago Bliss. We want tickets, too, man. That's a good bonding session for the fathers and sons.
Lingerie League?
Lingerie League.
I don't know, man. Carrie going?
We got to Carrie want to go? She can go. She can go if she won't, but I think that's a father and son bonding moment. What up, Brian House? What up, Eddie Geron? What up, Chappelle? Dang, you got a lot in there. What up, Linda McGill? What up, Henry Hartsfield? Yolanda, Nate Williams, May. May Jules, what's up, May? How you feeling? Jim, what's up? What up, Cortland? And yes, good morning to everybody. Social media question of the day. These Golden State Warriors, are they better than the Jordan era Bulls? We're going to be talking about that live at 6:20 for the social media question of the day. Go on Facebook, Instagram, leave your comments, and we'll try and get your comments on the air. Talk Chicago 1690 AM. Peace. DS, Jim, Felicia Gatewood all the way from Bolingbrook, Raymond Hubbard, Erica Swain, Farrell. What's up, Marcy? Excuse me, Madam Commissioner of the Civil Rights Commission. Hello, good morning. Don't forget the little people. Robert Clark. Ooh, and Marcy, send me the dates on the quinceañera. I don't know if I got the paper. Linda McGill. I think I got all y'all. Did I miss anybody? Okay, I think we're good. All right, y'all. Let's get it cracking. What y'all think? Golden State better than the Bulls? I don't know. What's up, Philip Samuels? I just don't know, guys.
I don't know, man. I think I will say that they, I think they are better than the first version. I have serious questions about the Rodman, Pippen, Jordan version.
Oh, they couldn't do that.
Although remember the Jordan, Pippen, Rodman version had a real stiff playing center in Luke Longley. I don't know, man, how Luke Longley could have hung with the
Javon McGee. He would have whooped Javon McGee in the Greek.
What?
In the Greek.
Luke Longley?
Yep.
Come on, Maze.
He played the best people in the world, man.
Luke Longley could not play with these.
He had covered over, man. He got people. He got covered. We back.
Come on, man. Luke Longley. Please.
After the love is gone, if you still be right is wrong.
The administration then chose to defame me and, more importantly, the FBI by saying that the organization was in disarray, that it was poorly led, that the workforce had lost confidence in its leader. Those were lies, plain and simple. All I can do is hope. The president surely knows whether he taped me, and if he did, my feelings aren't hurt. Release all the tapes. I'm good with this.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned into the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. This is the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Charles Thomas in the studio. You just heard a clip from former FBI Director James Comey. He sounds to me like he is a little butthurt. I think he got his feelings hurt when Trump said it was an ill-run organization and said his name, and that's when he pouted.
You know, the thing is that when Trump said it was a poorly run organization, he was basically echoing what Maxine Waters said a few months earlier, and other Democrats who said they wanted Comey fired because of his involvement in the late stages of the presidential campaign in terms of Hillary Clinton's email situation. So, you know, come on, everybody. Both sides have said at one time or another that Comey was incompetent or that he was running a slipshod operation.
I mean, it seems like the two sides should just cancel each other out and everybody just say goodbye, Comey, and let it be. He just sounds like a disgruntled employee. I'm going to go to Angel. Angel, you're on the Talk Chicago 1690. You said you watched the trial?
How you doing, man?
I'm great.
I love your show. I love that line you said. I mean, you really get on the politics and back. I love it.
Thank you.
But there's nothing there in this investigation. Donald Trump will be, Donald Trump will be president for 4 or 8 years. Also, you talk about Donald Trump lying. Which politician doesn't lie? Seriously, man. You put Barack Obama did in Flint, Michigan. He had a big glass of water there. Oh, the water's good to drink. Well, guess what? Man, it's all the same situation. You cannot drink the water. Also, when Loretta Lynn jumped on that airplane with Mr. Clinton, and they talked about grandchildren and South things and stuff like that. You tell me that those were lies? So, man, you know what? You find your politics that lie, and I want to see that one. And also, whenever I do anything out here, and people criticize me, you know what I tell them?
What?
I tell them that Maze told me to say that. Okay?
Thanks, Angel.
I'll be calling you more often. Okay,
I appreciate you, Angel. Thank you for calling, man. That's right. You know what? People be running around here. I get in trouble a lot of times, and everybody, you know what? And they say, I think that I might have to take that Maze said off, because it seems like every time there's some trouble, it always come back to what Maze said. But I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna wear my bulletproof vest, and I'm gonna do my thing. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned into the Talk of Chicago. So, you know what? As we do all the time at the 6:20 break, I just wanted to make sure we got finished that, closed out the subject. We go to our social media question of the day. So, Charles,
What do you
big
think?
game tonight. Big game tonight. Big
game tonight. By the way, the hockey game
PK
that you
lost.
made me watch, or at least pay attention to. I didn't watch it, but the brothers' team lost, man.
He gonna come back.
They got
though,
blasted 6-0.
That's all right. They coming back.
Yeah,
though.
but basketball, that's my game. So I want to watch tonight. I will be there.
So apparently, you know, man, this Golden State team is really good. Really good.
They really are, you know, and you got to give it to them because, I think this Golden State team is much better than the two previous teams that were in the finals. I mean,
they added Kevin Durant, though.
Thank you. This man is 7 feet tall. That's the thing you got to remember about Kevin Durant. He's 7 feet tall, and back in the day when the Bulls were in the 90s, there weren't players like Kevin Durant who were 7 feet tall who could do all the things that Kevin Durant can do. There were some big guys who were good, but they couldn't do all this kind of stuff, man.
But Charles, he couldn't do that against Dennis Rodman, bro.
Well,
Dennis Rodman would have been in his head.
Is not 7 feet tall, and you're right. I think the Bulls team with Rodman, Pippen, and Jordan, they would have played Golden State a lot tougher than this Cleveland team is. But I'm telling you, man.
Hey, man, I think you're over here blaspheming. Are you in Chicago blaspheming?
I'm never going to give up that Michael Jordan versus LeBron business. I'm still a Jordan guy through and through.
Okay.
But team-wise, this Golden State team is frightening. They are frightening because it's so many of them. And then they come off the bench.
Man, you know what? I just feel like, I hear you. But I just can't get over it. But as I'm looking in social media and I'm going through it, what I am seeing and hearing is that there are people making comparisons to this Golden State team, suggesting the possibility that it could possibly be better than
this
Jordan.
This one Golden State.
And I don't care what team. I don't care. There's no team that will ever be better than the Bulls.
That's all we're talking about. We're not talking about the era. The Bulls are still the most dominant team that's played in the NBA in the last, 40, 50 years since the Boston Celtics? Definitely. But this one version of Golden State versus any one version of the Bulls, that's what people are talking about. And that's what this reporter is thinking about.
Hey, man, so let me go to the social media question of the day, which is, are these Golden State Warriors better than the Jordan era Bulls? No. I just got to say no. WVON listeners, what do you think? Give us a call. 773-591-1690. I'm just here to tell you, man. The Bulls during the 90s was a way of life.
Of
right?
course.
It was a way of life. There was, and the thought that anybody could compare this team to the Chicago Bulls. Come on, man.
If you talk about the era, this team's got to win a few more championships in order to be compared with the dynasty. But they talk about one team, the Kevin Durant version.
So could this Kevin Durant team beat the 95-96 Bulls?
Man, I'm going to tell you.
WVON listeners.
I don't know. I'm not so sure that the Bulls could beat this team.
I'm telling you.
I'm not so sure.
I'm telling you, they're gonna put Dennis Rodman on. They're gonna put Dennis Rodman on Kevin Durant. Michael Jordan is shutting down Steph. And
who's Scotty gonna guard?
You know, Scotty is versatile, so he's gonna take Klay Thompson. He's gonna take Klay Thompson.
Who's gonna take Draymond?
Then we're gonna put Ron Harper on Draymond.
Ron Harper did.
Ron Harper gonna run him around the floor, man. Ron Harper was a gun.
And who you gonna put on? Who you gonna put Luke Longley?
I'm gonna put Luke Longley is gonna take Javon McGee, and
Luke Longley is stiff, man.
Luke Longley
gonna stiff.
He clogs the middle. We gonna run the triangle.
Yeah, but you gotta run up and down the court. You know.
Ladies and
You know
gentlemen.
what, Maze? I'm just glad that this conversation between who's better, Michael or LeBron, is finally over. And Stephen A. Smith explained it very wise.
Well, you know what? We're going to talk about that too because
I have the clip if you guys want to hear it.
You know what? When we come back, I definitely want to hear it because I do think we're going to end this. LeBron gets swept. He is no longer he's no longer in contention for the greatest of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM social media question of the day. Can these Golden State Warriors beat the Chicago Bulls of lore? The Michael Scotty Rodman combination? Give us a call, 773-591-1690. This is the Talk of Chicago. We'll be back.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson coming up on the Talk of Chicago.
Ooh, what y'all think? What do y'all think out there? Somebody give me a call. I mean, come on, man. Mike was a defensive player of the year. He is going to, and then let's just be clear. None of these guys can get touched now. You can't even touch them. You can't touch them. These like Steph.
No.
Come on, man. Can you imagine Mike bodying up Steph? Can you imagine Steph coming up the court in the fourth quarter after Mike been beating him down?
Mike, man, you can't. Nah, man, that guy. No, there's no.
I'm saying, and I'm just telling you, Dennis Rodman would first they'll put Dennis Rodman on Kevin Durant to frustrate him, and then they'll switch.
But that presumes that he would, and Rodman ain't gonna score. That's the problem. See, one thing when I saw that, it was the night before the last game when Golden State scored 39 points in the first quarter of an NBA playoff game when the defense is supposed to really be clamping down. 39 points. I'm saying this game is over. I turned it off and went to bed, man.
But the Bulls had how many 3 defensive players of the year on the team?
They did, but I mean,
come on, man. They had Scotty,
but they didn't have 4 and 5. They didn't have 4 and 5 to play that game like that.
All I'm suggesting is first of all, these young. Come on, man. These youngins ain't even played 82 games. They sit out 40 games a year.
Keep in mind, too, man, that in 20 years, there's been a lot done. The game has changed a lot.
Right.
A lot of game. It's not as physical as it used to be.
That's my point.
You can't use your
hand check. Come on, man.
On defense.
Steph would be out of bounds every. Do you mind if you what?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Help yourself. In fact, if anybody else wants some, I don't even know they're in here. That they know they're in here.
Oh, I can see them from right there. So
why don't you take them in there? Because I don't want any more. That's for sure. You want a donut, Maze?
I'm good.
Okay, I'll come back in 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, Steph would, as soon as he came up the court, he'd be like, oh, come on, man, these kids would. And LeBron, if he had to play Detroit, he'd be done. All right. What up, Henry? Nate? What y'all say? Kent, you crazy. Golden State, under the rules of today? Yeah, under the rules of the day, play them in the Bulls. Man, then you saw, come on, man. If you trying to tell me that the light skins beat the Bulls,
man,
you out your mind.
Here you go, man, with that light skin stuff.
Soft, man.
Why you do that, man?
Light skin,
Why
man.
you say that light skin stuff?
Cause, man.
You think just because you crispy, you better?
No, not at all.
Just because you crispy, you better than me?
Not at all. Not at all.
What?
Not at all.
Let me tell you something. He thinks just because he's crispy, he's better than me. that ain't right, man.
That's just one less visit, man.
You cannot claim that melanin superiority stuff, man.
Hey, man, white folks do it all the time.
Discriminated against. I feel like really discriminated against, man.
Don't feel discriminated against.
You make me feel bad,
Hey, man, you watch the game. You root for Golden State.
Why
You
you
talking about
low-rate
the...
me like that,
Hey, man, I'm rooting for Golden
Just
State.
because you crispy, you think that you can low rate me.
No, you feel like I say light skin. You feel
Man,
low rated.
You know, I can't help it, man. I can't help it.
Neither.
I help it, man, because Mars was playing around.
Wake up! Sally Mae! Wake
You
up!
wrong, man. I can't believe you're doing this to me. I'm your boy. I've been your boy, man, for a long time. Man.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, y'all. What's up, David Britton? What up, Chappelle? What up, Kent Thomas? Kenneth Briscoe? Dale, right, Dale, you right. You roll with Wilder. You roll with the Bulls. Red Man would mess with you people, man. Oh, Rob, I'm telling you, Rodman would have these young millennials screwed up in the head. Because he ain't, look, he going to come in with some red, he going to have some camouflage hair. He going to come out, he going to body slam somebody or bloody him up real quick. Kevin Durant ain't coming to those. Yeah, you can one time. You can.
But somebody on Facebook made the point that if you played under 90s rules, maybe.
Not maybe.
No, if you played under 90s rules, yeah.
Right.
Okay. But the way they play today, this up and down.
Y'all, and you don't stop. Yes, y'all, and you don't stop. I took the two, y'all, and you don't stop. Be the show shot. Met this girl when she was 10 years old. But what I love most, she had so much soul. She was in school and I was just a shorty, never knew. Throughout my life, she would be there for me on the regular. Not a church girl, she was secular. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. We are discussing the social media question of the day. If the Golden State Warriors win tonight, sweep the playoffs, go 16-0, no losses, will they be better than the final incantation of the Bulls with Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman? WVON listeners, what do you think? And I also want to add to this conversation, if LeBron James gets swept, we will officially end the comparison to him and Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan would never get swept in any series, period, point blank. And all I'm saying is you are no longer greatest of all time. Charles, your thoughts?
I agree with you on that, 100%. Michael Jordan, the wild way of thinking, greatest of all time, best I've ever seen, best there ever was, best there ever will be. Did I just say that? Man, I just don't know who could top that. But I tell you, people are saying that if you played by the same rules that they played by in the 1990s, and you had the Bulls with Rodman and the physical style, and Cartwright, well, Cartwright was in the first version, but the physical style play, then the Bulls. But this new version where everybody run up and down the court, oh, come on, man.
These guys couldn't even play 82 games. Come on, the Bulls won their championships. Nobody sat out. There were no injuries. I don't even know if they had treatment, right? Like, they had treatment like an ice bath.
Yeah, they had
I know, but they had an ice bath. But I'm suggesting that, seriously, these guys are just soft. And I'm thinking that can you imagine?
You sound like a homer, man.
Can you imagine?
You don't want to give these guys any credit, man. These guys are good.
Can you imagine though Steph trying to play Michael Jordan coming up the court?
No.
Look, bro, but he
Steph
wouldn't even be able to get his arms over his head.
They would put Thompson on Michael Jordan. They would put Thompson on him.
Right,
because Steph's too small for that.
Right. You know Mike would be dunking on him.
Man,
we have posters. But you know what? I want to go back just a little bit. Because we can't let LeBron skate through this. Now, we know he can win when he assembles these all-star, superstar teams, right? But
what do you mean? No. I don't think he has an all-star, superstar team right now. He does not.
Okay, wait.
He doesn't have the.
So you're suggesting that Kevin Love, Kyrie, man?
No, I'm saying they are not the caliber of players that Golden State has. In fact, when the other night Cleveland was hanging tough, and then LeBron went to sit down at the end of the first quarter, and suddenly Golden State went up 8 points. The people that Cleveland was bringing off the bench, man, they weren't even close.
I'm just saying, they got a big three. The big three. They got the big three. Kevin Love was big three.
Man, Kevin Love, come on, man. Kevin Love.
They went through the world.
He's a good player, but
they had him projected to be one of the best players in the world.
But he's not. I mean, Scottie Pippen is one of the 50 greatest of all time. And Rodman's probably one of the 50 greatest, top 10 maybe defensive of all time.
He might be top 5 defensive.
Exactly.
He might, I mean,
okay, but I mean, Michael had them. Let's face it, LeBron does not have players like Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman around him.
So, but let me ask a question. Whether Mike had those people or not, do you think he gets swept in any finals?
Never.
Do you think
not even playing under today's rules? Michael Jordan just had that killer instinct.
Sonia, Stephen A. Smith has something to say about it. Can we hear that?
You know, I will miss LeBron James daily when he is gone, as we all should. But I do not want to hear another single damn word about being the GOAT, the greatest of all time. You do not get swept. Time out.
We shouldn't have been saying those words in the first place.
Hold on. You do not get swept twice in the NBA Finals in your career.
Twice.
I don't care who it's against. Even AI got you one against the Lakers with Shaq and Kobe and the crew. You do not get swept twice in your career. You do not have an NBA Finals record of winning less than 40% of your games. Because at 17 and 26 right now, that's 39% of his games. You do not get swept twice in your career and win less than 40% of games in an NBA Finals, and you are considered the best ever. Stop. That's all I'm asking. One of the greatest, yes. The greatest, that conversation officially ceases to exist.
It should.
So, people don't particularly, people find Stephen A. Smith controversial. I find no controversy in that statement.
Controversy at all.
WVON listeners, is the debate over? Is the debate over about LeBron possibly being the greatest of all time? I'm just saying, we getting a lot of stuff cleared up today on this sports team.
Even after Michael, man, you got to think about, I'm going to go old school on you now. You got to think Bill Russell. I mean, come on, Bill Russell got to be right up there, maybe even ahead of LeBron. Because Bill Russell, man, he won, 9 championships or something like that? Or something like, no, the Celtics did. But he won all.
Man, he was a coach, too.
Yeah, but come on, I mean, and then Kareem.
Come on, y'all. I'm just saying.
I mean,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. None of these guys that you talk about right now, this Golden State team, sure, if no one can touch you in a basketball game, then they win. They might beat the Bulls because they the pretty boys. You know how them light skin.
Don't start.
You
don't
know
start,
how them.
Man.
You know.
Don't start, man.
Let me ask a question.
What?
Do you notice something about these Golden State Warriors though?
What about
the legacy guys?
What about?
That their dad was in the league.
What about?
How they all so light?
So when you see you go,
is this the outcome? Is this the second generation?
To the light skinned brothers,
is this the second generation?
You think that you're superior because you're crispy?
No, not because I'm crispy. I just
that
had one less.
You think you're superior because you're crispy?
One less knock at the door, man. I may have about 5 less knocks at the door.
But you got a little more melanin, and you think you're superior to
I have
brothers
a
like
lot
me.
more
We had
melanin.
some issues back in the day with the monster coming to.
All I'm just saying is, and I'm gonna tell you though, in this game, Draymond Green is why I root for Golden State. You know why? I root for because Draymond, right? Because I got to see the brother. Because it's hard for me to root. We are boys, but
do you root for me?
Sure, I root for you. I'd be like, do you root for me?
Absolutely, man. I mean, crispy don't mean nothing to me.
It don't mean nothing. Light skin paper bag test don't mean nothing to me. I got it. It's all love.
I mean.
But I'm telling you, I am rooting for the Yellow Boys in this case. I am rooting for Golden State, but partially, and even though I've gotten a new level of respect for LeBron because of his statements, I still just want him to go down so we can stop this comparison to Michael Jordan. I don't want to see that happen. All right, let's go to the live lines. Let's go to Calvin. Calvin, you're on the Talk of Chicago.
What's going on, man? What's going on, Charles? There's 2 things, man. First of all, The debate should have never started between LeBron and Mike, because Mike, like I said, is just superior, was just a man's league. Golden State couldn't beat the Bulls for this one reason. You got to remember something. Y'all saying it's today's rules. Jordan, Pippen, and Dennis Rodman were 3 defensive players of the year. So, I mean, they could lock down anybody with the task of Ron Harper and Tony Kukoc. And it was a man's game, and they had a style of play. So, all that running up and down, Michael Jordan controlled the tempo against guys that knew how to play a lot better and was more manly, physical, and more skilled. In today's game, it wasn't no such thing as a specialty player. Oh, I can only shoot 3. No, guys knew how to play all around. So I don't care if the Golden State couldn't beat the Bulls. They couldn't even beat the 2000 Lakers, in my opinion. That's just how I see it, because, like I say, Shaq was a big man. So I give him credit, but like I say, I just don't think they could beat Michael Jordan. I'm sorry. His mental makeup of the game was just too strong and way superior than most of these guys play today. And like y'all said, they didn't miss games.
Right? I mean, think about the Bulls. Come on, man. Golden State players, the league had to issue a statement telling the players that they had to play in these games. They take off vacations during the season. Michael Jordan and these guys, bro, they busted their tail all. And think about them. They was doing it back to back to back. So they played all the way to almost July. Had 2 months off. You take a Mike and he goes to play in the Summer League, Olympics, comes back, wins it. Come on, man. These kids ain't built that way these days.
Yeah, the whole defensive thing is interesting, too, because the Bulls, those 3 players, Scotty, Mike, and Dennis, they would go pick you up in the backcourt, and by the time you got to the front court where you could actually try a shot, you only had like 10 seconds left on the clock. That defense was just swarming back in those days.
Exactly. And so that's why I'm telling you, Charles, I just don't think they got it. Let's go to Wayne. Wayne, you're on the Talk of Chicago 1690.
You know what? The league is weak, because back in the day, you went through a lot to get to the finals. When you went to Utah, you had Karl Malone and John Stockton. You had Reggie Miller in Indiana. You don't have no now you got superstars. I can't beat you, so I'm gonna join with you. So I mean, the league is really kind of weak. So you can't really compare. Yeah, LeBron is the best for this time, not for all time, for this time. Because I mean, look at it. Look how the league is.
I agree with you, Wayne. I think it's a concentration of power. So once you get over one hump, you're kind of done till you get to the finals. That's why we're seeing the same teams back 3 times.
Did you notice, too, that in the last game that Golden State scored 39 points in the first quarter of a NBA game? I'm not saying that to say that they're better. I'm just saying that where's the defense? 39 points in an NBA Finals playoff game in the first quarter, that tells me somebody isn't playing defense.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago. We are discussing the social media question of the day. Are these Golden State Warriors better than the Jordan-era Bulls? Give us a call, 773-591-1690. When we come back, we'll take your calls and wrap this segment up. We'll be back.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
You heard me, you got the camera.
Yeah, we got we're gonna stay on the sports tip. Talk about this fellow plays for the it's called the Cubs. Plays for the Cubs in Chicago. They have a team currently on the other side of town, and this kid plays for the Cubs. He plays shortstop, and he's got this his wife, man. It's like went on social media and started talking about his, their marriage. And then she had a friend come on social media and co-sign what the wife was saying about this abuse that this young man, this guy, Russell, was committing against his wife. And then the league apparently gets involved because all it takes is social media apparently is enough for you to be, that's enough to get you thrown out the major leagues or suspended from major leagues. Like this woman, the wife did not complain to the police. She didn't complain to any kind of social services agency. No doctor saw her or anything like that. She just wrote some stuff on social media, and her friend co-signed said it was happening, and that was all it took for the National League or for the Cubs to have to sit this young man down so he can't play anymore. That's deep. That is deep.
For 7:30, Charles.
Oh, this is the news at 7:30?
Yeah. Thanks for the donut, whoever brought them. I took one without asking. It was delicious. So now I got a sugar buzz. I'm feeling like Maze did 3 weeks ago, bouncing off the wall.
The harm done by the light.
Woo! All right, y'all. We out here? Who you got? What you got? What up, Salim? Okay, I'm going to start from the top this time because I think I missed people. All right. Dennis Evans, Nate, KM, Shapiro. Let's do it this way.
WVON, traffic and weather now.
Inbound Stevenson's Harvey moving between the Ryan and Lake Shore, 59 minutes, 355 to LSD from the Tri, 49. Yeah, outbound trip 34, Lake Shore to the Tri, 44 to 355.
What up, Michael Bullock, Dennis Evans, Rick Good, Robert Clark.
34 from Manheim. And your outbound Eisenhower, 20, post to Manheim, 33 to Thorndale.
Dang, these headphones are loud. I think I'm going to lose my earring.
You got anything to write with, man?
Yep.
Thanks. Thanks.
What up, Big Brother Kang? A.G. Muhammad.
Session to force lawmakers to approve the state budget before the end of the fiscal year. First, Democrats
As long as you live,
Doom, doom, doom.
someone who loves you tender like I
do.
You'll never find, no matter what you say,
Someone who cares
about you
the way I do. Oh, I'm not talking about myself. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. I am your host, Maze Jackson. Charles Thomas in the studio. Our musical director, Sonia Escobar. And we are discussing the social media question of the day. Are these Golden State Warriors better than the Jordan era Bulls? Now, we made a distinction between just all the Jordan Bulls to the last Bulls. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman. Could these Golden State Warriors beat them? I don't know, Charles. You seem to think they could.
I seem to think it'd be a heck of a game under today's rules. In fact, under today's rules, I would have to favor the Warriors. But under the rules that were in place in the 1990s, you got to favor the Bulls. That's not a cop-out. That's just the way the game is played. As far as the one-on-one comparison, Michael Jordan to LeBron James, no comparison. And that's all about heart as opposed to, skills. I mean, Michael had that killer instinct in his heart. I mean, he was just going to beat you.
Yes, and he was going to do it, and he was going to talk to you about it while he did it. All right, let's go to the live lines. T, you're on the Talk of Chicago. T, you're on the Talk of Chicago. Good morning.
Yeah, I was saying, I want to say this, man. Yeah, in today's environment, today's NBA, like Charles said, the Golden State would probably sweep the Bulls. All right? I know you don't want to hear that.
Did you say sweet T? I got my finger on the trigger, man. Go ahead.
Don't do it to me, man.
I got my finger on the trigger.
I mean, I was saying, but hey, today's environment, that push off that Jordan did, and I think it's Utah, when he hit that last minute shot, I don't know if it's a playoff game or what, and if they would have lost it if he hadn't hit it. That push off he did on that play
Brian
think
Russell.
That would have happened today?
Yyep,
Yeah.
sure would have.
That would have happened today? That would have been a foul.
I think LeBron do that stuff all the time. LeBron would have been rolling around on the ground.
The NBA right now is nowhere near what it was back then. You had more physical play. That's why the center position is irrelevant right now because of the change. There's no centers now. You know what I'm saying? Centers got to be powerful. You had two centers back then because the center position was a main ingredient of the offense back in the day. Nowadays, there's no such thing as no center. There's not a such thing. So the day's environment, Bulls would stand a chance against Golden State.
He's right, man. You could if you ran.
You lucky I can't hit this button.
But if you ran Luke
I
Longley
can hit
out
his
there,
button. I can't hit your button. Now you about to say that
if you ran Luke Longley out there today in this environment, man, Luke Longley wouldn't last 5 minutes. He would be like winded. He couldn't run with these people. Not today. But you take these people back then, when Luke Longley could use his weight and his strength on them, the Bulls would win. I
think the Bulls win, man. Period. Let's go to Maurice. Maurice, they on here done made me mad, bro. What you got for us today? You're on the top of the
Let's crack it like in a second, everybody.
What's going on?
Hey, check this out. The Golden State Warriors are producing the type of results that can easily mirror the contestants of the Chicago Bulls. However, I think it's extremely difficult to say the Warriors would defeat the Bulls due to many factors, such as the execution of Chicago's triangle offense. That triangle offense and that defense, that was monstrous. And there's no way in the world that anybody could, it was impenetrable. You couldn't get through that. In addition to that, I want to say one more thing about Brother LeBron James, who happens to be a very nice person. I got a chance to meet him a couple years ago. LeBron James, the comparison, these statistics with this whole postseason records of being able to gain more points than Michael Jordan. Let's not forget that Michael Jordan actually stopped playing for 2 years.
He sure did.
Right? So you can't make that. That's not a legitimate comparison to say that, or based on these statistical records, that he's managed to surpass Michael Jordan, scoring more points in the postseason. Michael Jordan, as I reiterate, stopped playing for 2 years. And I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you, Maurice. I appreciate your call. All right, let's go to Don. Don, you're on the Talk of Chicago 1690.
Hey, man, much respect, man, but I got to let you know, you sound like the old man in the barbershop.
Hey, man, I am the old man in the barbershop.
About the Temptations from way back when.
Nice like this,
let it go. We understand. Michael Jordan is Jesus. We got it. But don't let your admiration for the past prevent you from appreciating the present.
Dang, brother.
5 years ago, it's a different game. It's different athletes. And like you dude said, the way these guys are made now, the skill sets they have, I don't even know if the series would be close. Appreciate it. And it's not because Michael wasn't the greatest. It's because the game has changed. The game has evolved. Players are better. That's the only difference, okay? But much love, man. I appreciate it.
Don, I appreciate you calling in, man. Hey, look, y'all. Why y'all want to steal my joy? Why do you want to do y'all understand what the Jordan era Bulls, the Jordan era Bulls were more than just basketball. Do you remember what it meant for the NBA Finals during the Bulls era? The smoke would be in the air because everybody had a barbecue every night. It was an era. It was. I mean, there's no emotional attachment to this
basketball. Like a homer, man. We're trying to be antiseptic about this.
You trying to be antiseptic. I'm not antiseptic. I'm passionate.
No, you're passionate.
I have
You're
passion.
a homer.
I have passion for my city. I have passion for my people. I got passion. And I'm just telling y'all breaking my heart talking about my Bulls like this. Keenan, come on, man. Talk to me. Tell me something good. You on the Talk of Chicago.
Okay, I'll tell you this much, man. You sound absolutely insane.
Oh, my God.
Warriors are running. The triangle offense is just extended. Luke Longley had a jump shot. That was the only reason the middle opened up for Michael Jordan to penetrate.
Keenan, I got my finger on the trigger, man.
Okay,
Keenan, Keenan, tell me you are not. You say it ain't so.
It's a different game. Draymond
and Rodney canceling one another out. But they would have to, each one would have to have a spectacular game. It's a team game, bro, and it might be the finals, but how long did it take Michael Jordan to get to the finals, man? Remember, our boy got swept until he learned the concept of the system. He used to get his butt handed to him.
Keenan, the trigger. And, you got your vest on? Do you have your vest on? Make sure you got your vest on, because I'm in the trigger. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. I think we're going to have to end this discussion because y'all done got my pressure up. You got my pressure up trying to take away my Jordan-era Bulls. Do y'all understand? The barbecues, the food, the cooking. Look, we come back, we're going to talk about another brother on the barbecue. And when we talk about another brother on the barbecue, we're talking about Addison Russell, domestic violence issues and social media. Say it ain't so. We'll be back after news, traffic, and weather.
The Talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation is...
Yeah, man. Y'all trying to steal my damn joy. Can y'all understand? I mean, see, y'all got to understand. The Bulls era, it was an era. I mean, people, they brought people together. They brought Chicago together. Do y'all remember barbecuing for the Bulls championships? Do you remember every time the Bulls played, somebody was having a party, and then once you got through, you could go downtown, and the Bulls would be at the club? Come on, man. Come on. Y'all tripping. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now 7 o'clock. Can you reach over and share the broadcast? Oh, am I supposed to turn this around? Sorry, guys. There you go.
Cleveland was out of yesterday after flying at Midway Airport for the last time. Cleveland is leaving behind it. Southwest Airlines pilot.
Hey, man, I think the trigger, we're going to have to start telling people they got to wear a bulletproof vest, because you start talking crazy, I'm going to have to hit the trigger on you. Boom!
Said check your neck, protect your chest. Man found dead in a bulletproof vest. Remember that one? You ever heard that one? One of them gangster rap songs, man. That's one of the ones I had to check. You know? I remember that one. Man said, check your neck, protect your chest. Man found dead in a bulletproof vest.
Was that Wu-Tang, I think?
First African.
What up, Ship? What up, Dennis Evans, Nate Williams, Kang, A.G., Muhammad, Brian Farrell. Come on, man. Mike came on the court drunk one time, hungover.
Really?
That's the game when he supposedly had the flu. He was hungover.
Oh, really? That's what that was? They didn't have a flu?
Yeah, he didn't have no flu. They had a long night. Long night. And he came in there and buzzed that. That's right, Reese Mo. We can never forget the Bulls dynasty. Never. And we can never let their history be tarnished. What up, B. Mullins? The game ain't elevated. Bigger, faster, stronger. The game has become soft. Just like a whole generation.
You ever get this feeling that they try to take Donald Trump's phones away so he can't tweet?
He's the president, they can't.
but then he's got like his certain friends that give him these like phones that he can just so get out and tweet.
They could just close down his account. If I was them, I would just have Twitter make his account not work.
Yeah, that's. You know, he just opened up and said the real Donald Trump. So he did a couple tweets this morning. He said he did a couple tweets this morning.
That's right, Dennis. Old men in the barbershop do spit wisdom. What up, Daryl Wallace? Right. The Bulls were great at making people play their game. Adaptation. The Bulls whooped you however they needed to. I mean, seriously. Has there ever been a time that we've enjoyed championships like we did during the Bulls here. And obviously we came from Chicago. But who didn't root for the Bulls? Everybody rooted for the Bulls, except for the people we was whooping. I mean, having the Bulls is like having rock stars. Like straight up rock stars. What up, Philip Samuels?
Would Scottie Pippen have been regarded as one of the 50 greatest NBA players had he not played with Michael Jordan?
Probably not.
Right. Thank you.
Probably not.
Jordan, man, was just beyond, man.
I mean, he elevated the whole thing.
The whole thing. I never seen anything like it.
Right. Tyrone McDaniel said, LeBron, King James needs the Holy Spirit to be Mike.
That's right.
Bro, let me just be clear with you, Kang. Big brother Kang. If Mike needed to elevate his three-point shot, he would have just done that. He would have been in the gym shooting 300 shots, 3,000 shots a day until he had the three-point. Remember when he didn't have a jump shot?
Yeah, I remember this losses, man.
This traffic report is brought to you by Geico
Social media
Insurance.
questions today. Why is Ribfest on the north side?
Why is Ribfest in Naperville? The real Ribfest, the best one.
Service you need with the savings you love. Call 773-582-AUTO. That's 773-582-AUTO for your local Geico agent.
WVON, traffic and weather now.
Inbound 57, 2280 to the Ryan. Headed northbound there, County Road has been reopened. Outbound 15, Ryan to 80. On your inbound Bishop Ford, 25, 8094 to the Ryan, back out 15. On your inbound Ryan, getting reports of a crash there at 47. Outbound 15, downtown to 95th. Your travels on Lake Shore in either direction will cost you about 35 minutes. Stay sunny with a high of 83. Tonight, clear in the low of 60. Cloudy tomorrow with a high of 89. It's 68 at O'Hare, 66 at Midway. Here at the top of Chicago, it's 67. That's your traffic and weather now. I'm Ebony Carrington on 1690 WVON.
Light. Flashing. Light. She don't believe in shoes and cars, but she believes in shoes and cars. New clothes in a new apartment. Couture from the store department. You know like love the star shit. I'm Florida, trips to Florida. Order the orders, views of the water, straight from a page of your favorite author. You are tuned into the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. This is the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my main man, Charles Thomas, in the studio. Sonia Escobar on the musical direction. And Charles, apparently, the other team in Chicago is having a little internal, it's a little domestic
I heard
dispute.
something about it. You know, I don't really follow the Chicago Cubs very much, but I do know they play in Chicago on the other side of town, and I think they've had some success over the last few years. Maybe I heard something about that. But then they got this young brother who plays shortstop for them that I was reading about in the paper today, who got a problem, man. With check this out. This is so-called domestic abuse. What is that song I hear?
What is this
What
noise?
is that noise?
What is this racket?
Is that racket?
Could you what? There's static in my earphones.
Please, man. I mean, this
Could
is
you? This is a serious show. This is a serious. This is serious business.
Serious broadcast for adults.
This is an adult show.
Adult show.
What is this?
Man, it's corny, isn't it? Really corny. Anyway,
do
but
black people sing this song?
Black people do not sing this song.
Do they have a hip hop version?
This is not on Black Music. This is Black Music Month, Sonia. Please. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. She won't stop either.
Please.
Please let us have this moment. Thank you. Okay. This fellow has been accused of domestic abuse. Now check this out, though. There are no cops involved, no police reports, no social services agencies, made any reports. There are no bruises, no medical reports. Nobody went to the hospital. But his wife is charging him with domestic abuse in a Facebook post. And one of the wife's friends co-signed the post, which is enough, apparently, according to Major League Baseball rules, to put this young man, this 23-year-old shortstop, Addison Russell, of the Chicago Cubs, under investigation. In fact, they won't let him play tonight because they say he's under suspicion. All because of this social media stuff, and nothing's real. It's all virtual.
It's funny to me that you say that it's not real and it's all virtual. Social media elected a president. Social media is the way
elected the president.
It really did. I think
Donald
Trump
people had to go to the polls and actually vote.
But how did they get Donald Trump's message?
What do you mean?
How did people?
But I mean, they
communicate?
actually physically at some point had to go to the polls and vote. I got to figure that even if you say you have been abused, you got to at least at one point go to the cops or go to the hospital or do something physical just to
Apparently
do it virtually.
Not. Apparently
exactly.
not.
That's my point.
That's my point.
And that's why I'm really like blown away by it. I mean, I'm old school. I know. And I realize what the future is.
What the present is. It's not the future.
Away.
Understand, Charles, that social media is how the world communicates.
I see people, Maze. Now, I don't want to digress too much, but I know people who get into fights over this stuff. In fact, I had a police commander in Chicago tell me that most of the gunplay in this city has some social media component to it. Police commander told me that.
It's very real, and that's why I'm very adamant about what happens in social media and why I'm always concerned
about you.
I'm always concerned about, okay, you got to kill the Cubs.
You're going to have to stop this now. I'm serious.
And we're singing Go Cubs Go.
Sonia,
Go Cubs Go. Hey Chicago, what are you saying? The Cubs are gonna win.
I mean, this is insane. I really do think this is
I hate the Cubs.
I mean, you need to get control of your own program.
Man, I've been trying. It seems like I'm having a problem with that these days. Social media is real, though, brother, and it's like your life can change over social media. This guy is finding out. I would say I agree. I think that people get shot, murdered, killed, jumped, beat up, fought. You look at most of the things, and so when you start to say things and do things, see, one of the things I think that some of us don't recognize with social media is that it's not just the two people that you think are talking. It is the world. So when you are a public figure and you start making statements or doing things, then what happens is somebody else is watching, and now the league, because they know that millennials are driven by social media, is like, we've got to respond to this.
Nigga, you disrespected me. I'm going to kill you now. You disrespect me. What is all that about?
Man, bro, it's real. I mean, it's like you can make fun of it, but it's real.
I'm making fun of it. I think it's tragic.
But it's real. Tragic or not, it is real. Let's go to the live lines. You're talking to Will on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. What's up?
Good morning, man. Good morning to Charles.
Good morning.
Good morning.
There is a difference in abuse when it comes to applying it to black people and other people. Tuesday, a white guy at Starbucks on State and Lake downtown. He got some coffee spills on him, by a black man. He punched the black man in the eye.
called him the N-word, called him some other things. He also punched a 59-year-old black man that didn't have anything to do with it. And he also hit a lady, spat on some people. This is a white guy doing all this, 30-year-old white man doing all of this. And this is in addition to the guy that got drunk and was urinating outside the building and punched the security guard, the black woman security guard, in the eye. Now, had I done that, had I punched a white fella like that in the face and in the eye, and then hit a 59-year-old white guy, they would have charged me with aggravated battery.
But that's not domestic abuse.
And what's the point?
It's not, but it's applying. It's applying the law when it comes down to abuse. Period. But anything that black people does, it is magnified, and we are prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. This white guy that did all that punching to Starbucks, he only got a misdemeanor battery case. The guy that hit the security guard, the female security woman, I think he got a misdemeanor case. But had it been me, I would have got a hate crime, if I'd call him, other than a white boy. I would have got charged with aggravated battery to the nth degree. But they apply it different because they make the law.
Thanks, Will.
Well, I think you should correct that guy who
he got a felony.
He got a felony. The one who hit the security guard.
But I think the point, though, that we're talking about here, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that here is this young man who, from a Facebook post, is now having to defend his whole career. Now, the Facebook post has been taken down. So whoever originated the post, but how this post has now gone to the Major League Baseball, and now they've launched a full-scale investigation, not because of what's actually happened, but because of what someone heard or saw in an Instagram post.
You ever had a fight with your wife?
No.
You never had a fight?
Not a physical fight.
No, I've never had a physical fight, but I mean, you had arguments?
Yes.
Disagreements?
Yes.
Of course. And then, what if she put it on Facebook and then, got mad? And I think... At what point, it used to be that the cops came and investigated. And they looked around the house and they said, what's going on? They saw a bruise on the woman. They saw people disheveled. They saw the house. And they made a decision. Now, all you got to do is put it on Facebook and then have one of your friends co-sign on it, which is what happened in this case. One of the wife's friends apparently put something else on there. Yeah, she right. And then this guy, his job is in jeopardy.
But I think that it goes to the point of the fact of the weight of social media. I think about now when you say something, you go to a restaurant and someone yelps you, it could literally kill your career.
Kill your business,
right? It can destroy your business. I think that the world I think that Major League Sports and all of these guys, which is why they used to discourage their people from tweeting, are now starting to come into the real world. So you even look at social media is the dominant form of communication for people under a certain age. And I think that for so long we've been told to stay away from it. It's not that serious. But the fact of the matter is it really is the new form of communication for a new generation. But now how does that play out in your professional career? I mean, I think now you got to start worrying about what you post because they can launch an investigation based on a Facebook post. Give us a call, 773-591-1690. Post to Facebook or give us your comments live on air. But this Addison Russell story, should he be under investigation for his career for a Facebook post? I'm not too sure. But it is the world we live in. Give us a call, 773-591-1690. It is 7:18.
More of the morning show with Lady Jackson coming up.
All right, y'all. Who's out there? Reese Moe, Ronald Brody, Al Lumpkins, Tennille O. What's that?
So why am I seeing you this morning in...
I just flipped the camera. I just flipped the camera. It's an app it's a thing that allows you to flip it. Hey, Erica. Right. What's up, JV? Let's see. Where we at?
Hi, this is Teresa D, your host of the Let's Get to Work show, where we talk about jobs, careers,
What up, Big Brother Kane? What up, Love More? All is fair in love, war, and social media. See? It's that shit. Shucks, that stuff. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't even know Addison Russell was black.
He's black and Filipino.
Is he really black and Filipino, or is he Filipino?
That's what his bio says. He says his mother was Filipino.
Okay.
But I mean, whether he's black or not, I mean, I just think it's like the other guy, Aroldis Chapman, who played with the Cubs last year. He had the same kind of thing happen to him. Although his, I think, involved actually a police report. But this no cops, no hospital, no nothing, just people talking.
It's real in the field, bro.
Man, that's real. That is real, man.
What up, Ship? What up, Joe Ziegler, Nate Williams, Felicia Gatewood, Love Moore, Nate Williams, to my beautiful, lovely wife, Commissioner Carrie Steele. You right, Keith, the Cubs still suck. What up, Maurice Wells? What's up, Antonio? Tell the Rego Babo I said hello. What's up, Sean? What up, Brian Mullins? Hey, man, y'all in this stupid Cubs song. Shot it. Dad Slide Back, Raymond Hubbard. What are Maurice Wells? I think she played that. Yolanda Williams, Greg Granite, Keith Rowland. What do y'all keep? John Rembert. John, you making my hairline receive that craziness you talking. What up, JV? What up, Kang? Maurice Wells.
More concert tickets today, Mr. Jackson.
Reese Moe.
If you can hit that, that would be great. Yes, for the lineup for the Blues Fest. That's if it just happens at 7:50, there's no lineup.
Who's this call right here?
Hold on 1 second. He's coming up in a second there, Maze. There's the lineup for the Blues Fest. And this is information on Billy Branch and 40 years of blues.
They got a list of... Your host, Maze Jackson. Got my main man, Charles Thomas, in the building. Sonia as our musical pilot. Now, ladies and gentlemen, coming up on later today's show, we'll be giving away a pair of tickets for one lucky winner to see Chrisette Michelle, Melanie Fiona, and Soraya live. Stay tuned for your chance to win. You know I always love lucky caller number 3. All right, so before we went to break, Charles, we were talking about social media, a social media post, not even corroborated, not even confirmed, launching an investigation into a young baseball star. What's his name?
Addison Russell.
From the
23 years old, plays for the what's it? It's the other team.
Yeah, the other team.
The other team in town, the Cubs, I think they call it. Yeah, it's amazing. Just a Facebook post.
Can a Facebook post? Should a Facebook post? Well, actually, it wasn't Facebook. It was Instagram. So, can an Instagram post ruin your career? No, just the post. Should it be able to launch an investigation? Let's go to Sean. Sean, you're on the Talk of Chicago.
How you doing, guys? I just wanted to make a comment because I'm in the IT field, and I just realized that this is just a bad episode of like Changing Lanes. That movie that was with Ben Affleck and Samuel L. Jackson, when he literally went on the computer and ruined his life. I mean, people have to realize that the internet is no joke, and you could be hired, fired, ridiculed. I mean, the whole thing. Even yesterday, take it for example. Yesterday, when you had guys had the guy on the line. We knew more about his inside life than he wanted to even expose. He wanted to go on here and talk about just his community activism, and we just knew more about him because he posts stuff on the internet. It just seems like we got away from just keeping everything private and stop kind of like being away from the internet. You got to just have it's a certain responsibility, especially if you're in a leadership role, if you're in a high demand, or you're just all around good guy. You got to be kind of cautious about it because if somebody don't like you, they can ruin you. And if you're active on the internet, I mean, they can get you. It's no problem.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate your insight. Let's go to Regina. Regina, you're on the Talk Chicago 1690.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm fabulous. Listen, I have a question for Charles.
Yes.
Charles, how do you document verbal and mental abuse?
How do you document verbal and mental abuse? I mean, I'm not a professional in that regard, other than to say it. But do you? And is that a reason for you to lose your job? Why doesn't the person who's being mentally or verbally abused just leave that relationship? Isn't that an option for that person?
I think that. I think it's interesting because it's funny that in everybody's hand now there is a phone. And in that phone there's a camera, there's a recording device, and the reaction to everybody instantly when they have an issue is not to go confront the person. It is to go to the internet and share it with the world. And so I think that one of the things that you have to be cognizant of that we have to be cognizant of nowadays is that people are looking for evidence. It's like when we hear people say, "Show me the receipts," right? That is what we see with social media. So now people are looking to create, and what social media also does is create these your personal reality shows, and you try to build drama, etc., to drive excitement. And so there's a rush that comes with the response to social media posts, etc. And so if she's looking for sympathy or empathy, right, the first place to go is you can't go out and say, "Look at my bruise, look at what they did to me," but you can post it on Facebook and you can get 500 likes or mad faces.
But let me tell you something. I think, as you know, and you've talked to me about this, that I'm not very active on social media. People know that because I don't respond. But I find people on social media are really preoccupied with being liked. Like, everybody got to get a like. Everybody wants likes.
I disagree.
No, let me finish. Likes and friends. Everybody wants friends. Everybody wants likes. So when somebody comes up and they say, "I don't like you," people get all bent out of shape and they start conflict, and they immediately go to DEFCON 3. Because somebody didn't like what they said, they don't like me, and I think that's crazy, particularly with people you don't even know. They say they're your friend, you don't even know these people.
I think that's one perspective to look at it. I think the other way to look at it is that it's not necessarily likes. I think that everybody has their own niche. I think everybody has carved out a space for themselves. But I think that when someone feels like they are being disrespected, or they're gonna respond. And if someone takes your name and slams it for 50,000 people, it's gonna be an issue.
But you don't even know these people.
Y'all have kids. People have kids. People have families.
I know. But
people have
kids. People
have kids. They see your kids on Facebook. They see your families on Facebook. So when your kids are out you're laughing, but it is not but it's not your reality. And so as you leave people exposed, because whether you believe it or not, it is the reality of what happens. We don't agree with how this happened to Addison Russell, but guess what? Addison Russell now has an investigation with Major League Baseball, no matter how stupid it was.
So somebody can say something about me on Facebook.
And now he's got an investigation.
And now I'm going to get investigated. Or
apparently.
But see, with me, I ain't going to read it. So I didn't, you know.
But Charles, I think that you say that, and then ABC calls and says, "Hey, we heard about that podcast you were doing."
Won't be called,
but they will call and say, "Hey, we heard about a podcast you were doing, and you were saying some crazy stuff, and there's some other people out in the universe that didn't like what you said on social media."
They were paying me money.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. Can you have your career? Does social media make a difference in your life? I think Addison Russell is finding out the hard way that it does. And I think that we have a new paradigm that the world has to really start to accept, because people think a different way now. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. When we come back, we are going to be talking about resegregation. Was Chicago better when we were segregated? I've always said, I'm starting to believe yes. I mean, heck, I still think we're segregated. The only thing we don't segregate is where we spend our money. But we'll talk about that when we come back on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. This is your host, Maze Jackson, Charles Thomas, and my musical director, Sonia Escobar, will be back.
News, traffic, and weather up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. Is Black Music Law.
Hey, Charles, you ready for news in 30
Oh,
seconds?
yeah, okay, got you. Almost forgot. Thank you.
We're celebrating.
Thomas, here's what's happening. Thomas in the WVON newsroom. 1690. Good morning. It's 68 degrees at 7:30 at WVON 1690. I'm Charles Thomas, and here's what's happening. Governor Rauner says he's willing to call a special legislative session to force lawmakers to approve a state budget before July 1st. Rauner is blasting Democrats for wasting time holding hearings on the budget crisis. He says he's disheartened for those agencies that serve the disadvantaged, including those he and his wife have supported for years. House Democrat Greg Harris predicts quick action on a budget before the end of the month, but he says passing one will not be significant if Rauner does not sign it. Cubs shortstop Addison Russell denies allegations that he abused his wife. A woman on social media who described herself as a close friend of Russell's wife accused him of mentally and physically abusing Mrs. Russell in an Instagram post this week. Russell released a statement yesterday saying, quote, "Any allegation I have abused my wife is false and hurtful." Joe Madden, the Cubs coach, had this to say. Joe Madden, of course, the Cubs manager. Major League Baseball is investigating the domestic violence claims. West Nile virus has arrived in Illinois for another summer. The Illinois Department of Public Health is warning the state to be on high alert this mosquito season. Health officials urge people to use plenty of bug spray when outdoors. Officials in Macon County have confirmed mosquitoes in their region carry West Nile virus. Southwest Airlines pilot Captain Louis Freeman was honored yesterday after flying into Midway Airport for the last time. Freeman is leaving behind a legacy for being the industry's first African-American chief pilot. He's retiring after over 3 decades of flying for Southwest. Freeman says he will continue working to guide more African-Americans into the field. That's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. I'm Charles Thomas. Traffic and weather coming up next.
Hospital's new ambulatory care center, 6307 South Stewart, offering exceptional care close to home.
Good morning, everyone. Sunny means WVON Sports. The Cubs lost 4-1 to Colorado, and for John Lester, it was his first loss at Wrigley Field in nearly 13 months. And the Cubbies told Addison Russell not to come to the ballpark after being accused of mentally and physically abusing his wife. He denied those accusations, and the league is investigating. And
damn,
they beat the White Sox 75 before the Stockers. It was their seventh loss out of the last 8 games. Starter Derek Holland gave up 6 runs, 9 hits, and he
I agree with you, man. It's definitely real. I mean, I'm 100% with you on that, man. That's the future, man. That is the future. It's just a little bit difficult for some of us to get ready for it.
15-3 beating San Diego, while the Yankees got
Says, speak to your Facebook audience more, Brother Charles. Don't be shy. I won't be. I won't be speaking to my Facebook audience. I'll speak to you right here and take responsibility for what I say. I can't.
For the championship, and if they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, that'll be it for Cleveland. That is a look at our sports news now. Sunny Mean, 1690 WVON.
Have y'all taken a moment to share the broadcast? Please take a moment, share the broadcast. Oh, excuse me, this side. Share the broadcast.
Limit 5 slabs. A 6-ounce package of fresh blackberries is just 89 cents. And select varieties of Doritos.
Exactly, Maurice.
WVON, traffic and weather, now.
Inbound 57, 24, 80 to the Ryan. Outbound 15, Ryan to 80. On your Bishop Ford, starting to tighten up between 115th and the Ryan.
Thank you for the share, Charlie. Have you shared the broadcast? We need shares. All right, let's see what we got out here. Charlie Domingue, Maurice Wells, Eddie Jones. Eddie, I want to talk to you. Dad, slide back. Alvin E. Norton. Alvin, did I see you out at the Brewfest? What up, Keith Rowland? What up, Ronald Brody? What up, Ronald Clark? A.G. Muhammad. A.G. great time at the play last week. Felicia Gatewood all the way from the Brook. Sly Townsend, Audrey Tanksley. What up, Brian Mullins? Thank you for the share. Curtis Mayfield, right? Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. Don't forget, it's Black Music Month, the whole month of June. Black Music Month. That was Curtis Mayfield, one of our Chicago's own homegrown. You know, Chicago did big on this music thing, Charles. We've been hearing that all week, man.
Man, Chicago was huge, man. I mean, you know, you could go way back. You can go back to Louis Armstrong. I'm serious. I'm going historically. After the Great Migration, you know, this is where jazz. If jazz was not born here, jazz was certainly grown up here. This is where it happened, man.
What a wonderful world.
That, I mean, you know, just keep going and
Etta James.
You had to come through Chicago.
Chess Records.
Duke Ellington, if you was Count Basie, you had to come through Chicago. Billie Holiday, you had to come through Chicago in order to establish yourself as a jazz great.
Even as the great rock gods, and then we went on the blues, and the rock gods even came to Chicago because they wanted to get the authentic. They used to come to Chess Records and go down on Michigan and rock gods. So you see the Beatles, you would hear the Rolling Stones, everybody. It was when the black folks was kind of segregated, and the white folks who was trying to get some credibility would be like, I got to go get me some authenticity. So I got to go into the neighborhood.
Was rooted in the blues.
Rooted in the blues.
Blues was you know, basically grew up in Chicago too. It electrified, certainly in Chicago.
And it makes me think about all the white folks that have appropriated our culture.
Yeah, but you know, but Maze,
they appropriate a culture after we move on to cut the edge. Like you love hip hop, but hip hop is the cutting edge,
right?
The cutting edge, and that's where the edge is right now. But at one point, jazz was the edge.
But when I speak of that, I think that regardless of whether it's been jazz, bebop, whether it's been the blues, what we find is that white folks got an affinity for our culture. They love our music. They love everything. They like our entertainment. They don't like us living in their neighborhoods. So y'all can have a party over there, and we will come.
Boy, that was a beautiful transition.
I was trying to get it right. So when I think about when I used to think about it all the time, people say, "Man, white folks will be at the party." You know, it's a white person always at the party. They know the latest dances they on, and everybody clapping them and cheering them on because they go white boy go. But then he goes.
Music, white boy.
But at the end of the night, he leaves and goes back to his neighborhood. And we retired to our neighborhood. There was a time when we retired to our neighborhoods, though, and that might have been a good thing for black folks. It seemed like when we retired to our neighborhoods back in the day, we had banks. Now, we had the policy kings who financed a lot of our things, but we had businesses, we had our own dry cleaners. I don't think there were Korean nail shops back in the day. I don't think that the hair products was sold to black folks by the Asians. Charles, so I get to thinking, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but were black folks better off when they were segregated?
Man, certain black folks were. I don't think there's any question about that. But keep in mind,
what, a majority?
Segregation was a spatial thing in those days, more so than it is now. I mean, you were forced to live in the black neighborhood. Now you don't have to live in the black neighborhood if you can afford to move out.
But if you've got the highest black unemployment in the country,
that's centered in the black neighborhood.
Isn't it really segregation by another form?
It's certainly economic segregation. I mean, if you have the money, you can live anywhere you want to at this point in time.
But let's talk about that.
Anywhere you want to.
That economic segregation then ultimately, to me, boils into racial segregation, because when you think about the bottom rung, we heard the UIC study, it's a tale of 3 cities.
It might be a tale of 4 or 5 cities, because you have a place where rich white folks live, and then you have a place where other white folks live.
But no matter what happens,
so
those folks,
economic segregation too.
But they don't want. But even in those places, those economic segregations where the white folks live, the poor white folks live, they still don't want black folks. Think about what happened up north in John Arenas.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
Right, so
was that only about black folks, or was that about white folks too? White folks too.
I felt like it was poor white folks saying we don't want them poor black folks, because when you think affordable housing, when you think low income, do you really think white people? I mean, I do just for grins. What? I do for grins. But when you think about low income or affordable, what are the connotations in your head? So I think that when those white folks hear affordable housing or CHA, they think you bringing the projects. Not in my neighborhood.
That's what they think. But if they're 30-some years old and they're still renting and they're wondering how in the world they're going to get a house, they would love to see some affordable housing in the white neighborhood, which they don't see, because they have the same issues that poor black people have, or that black people who don't own a house have. They still have those issues too. I mean, I think you're seeing classism as opposed to that's driving a lot of the separation now, even more than racism.
And I'll give you that, but I think it's easy. That's an easy way out, because I always think like the white guy, even the poorest white guy, has to believe that he's better than the richest black guy, right?
That's something that's happened during America, but that's American
I think racism. It's still real today.
That's American racism, yeah.
Right.
That's
and so even though these parents let's take up north with this affordable housing, who probably have their own kids who can't find jobs, who are sleeping in their basements and on their couches. They still saying no affordable housing because they think it's going to be black people. And, you know, I'm starting to wonder. And Latinos. I'm starting to wonder, though, would it be better for us to retreat to our neighborhoods and rebuild them as compared to leaving out and trying to find greener pastures?
No, you remember the play, I don't know if you remember the play Raisin in the Sun?
Yes.
Written by Chicago native Lorraine Hansberry.
Yes.
Remember that the family was living in Bronzeville and they had to go to Morgan Park. They had to move to Morgan Park. And then, well, if you look at that whole storyline 50 years later, where would you rather be, in Bronzeville or Morgan Park?
I think I want to be in Bronzeville.
I'd rather be in Bronzeville too.
Right.
That's where the property values are going up.
But the thing is, Charles, as that's happening, they excavating the black people.
Well, but should the black people fall for the okie doke and be excavated?
Or should the black people hold on and keep their property?
Yeah, it's just like they're doing in Little Village right now. They're keeping their property. They keep that neighborhood intact. And you don't see, for instance, Jewel or Mariano's moving into Little Village.
You see Fiesta markets.
Yeah, right. They don't let the big supermarket come in their neighborhood because they want to make sure their businesses are able to survive and thrive as mom and pops throughout that neighborhood that they own. You also don't see any Korean or Muslim American
shops
or stores in those neighborhoods, do you?
And guess what those neighborhoods are? Segregated.
Yep.
Hey, Mexicans segregated. Yeah, go try to move into Pilsen. Or well, maybe not Pilsen, because Pilsen is gentrified, but try to move on 26th Street and be black. See how that works out for you. Try and open up a store on 26th.
Try a nail shop.
Right. Try to open. As a matter of fact, try and sell barbecue ribs in a Latino neighborhood and see how long your store stays open. You are tuned into the Talk Chicago 1698, and we are talking segregation. Should we go back? Should we retreat back to our neighborhoods and rebuild them? Or is this integration has integration done us right? We'll be back after these messages.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson coming up.
Oops, I hung up on them by accident.
1690 WVON.
Oh, you got the camera.
It's Black Music Month, and WVON is celebrating our very own in a series we call Homegrown. It's the music of the artists from Chicago. Here's our host, Jay Rhymefest Smith.
From Dusty's to nights out at the skating rink, Lou Rawls' music sets the tone for any Chicago occasion. Lady love, your love is peaceful like the summer's breeze. Lou Rawls was born on the south side of Chicago in 1933. After graduating from Dunbar Vocational High School, he sang briefly with Sam Cooke and the Teenage Kings of Harmony, a local gospel group. Rawls later moved to Los Angeles and joined the gospel group Pilgrim Traveler. In 1955, Lou enlisted in the United States Army as a paratrooper in the 82nd Airborne.
Segregation comments, affordable housing was originally for white people. Right, so was public housing. Public housing, but the problem became that with public housing and with all these things...
But you got to be able to catch the trend as it happens. And right now, which a point I can make, is Inglewood is very affordable to black people.
Right.
Inglewood is very affordable to black people. And if we move from Inglewood for any number of reasons, and I'm not saying I wouldn't move from Inglewood too, but we got to understand that we are ceding that land to white people who are going to move in.
Right.
Let's face it, white people coming back to Inglewood. You think Starbucks is there by mistake? Whole Foods? You think they put Whole Foods up there?
Number one indicator.
Oh, no. Oh, no. But it's like most other neighborhoods that if you abandon it, they take it back. And right now, it's still very affordable.
I agree with that. And y'all need to be paying attention. You need to be aware because as this census comes around, right? we have the opportunity to either control our fate. Let's not move. Let's stay. And let's be here for the count. And let's get our just due. Okay, we got to do Billy Branch in 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. I got commentary for it. Well, folks. Okay, who's at the bottom? All right, Colette Thicklin, what up? Kemet Pryor. What up, David Blackman? You late, man. Tamiko Hope. Amisha Cross. Miss my loving. You gonna miss my loving. You gonna miss my loving. You're gonna miss my love. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. This is the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-pilot, Charles Thomas, and our musical director, Sonia Escobar. We are trying to figure out, is it better for black folks to retreat to our own neighborhood? Charles, you had some comments on this segregation that is going on in Inglewood in particular.
Yeah, in Inglewood right now, Inglewood and Austin on the west side are two neighborhoods right now that are emptying. Black people are leaving in droves, the census is suggesting or reporting. And these neighborhoods right now are very affordable to black people. But we're leaving them. Going to the suburbs, going to Maywood, going to Riverdale, going to Harvey, anywhere but the city of Chicago, out of Inglewood and Austin. Those neighborhoods very affordable, but we're abandoning them. Who do you think is going to move into those neighborhoods?
Well, they got a Whole Foods and a Starbucks, so it probably is going to be some white folks.
Probably. And the thing is, if we abandon the neighborhoods like Cabrini Green, a lot of that was forced. We were forced out of that. But we didn't really own a lot of the property there anyway. But anyway, Inglewood, Austin being forced out, white folks going to move in, redevelop those neighborhoods. They're going to look great, and we're going to say, wow. And we're going to be living out in
Bumblefuck.
Yeah. In the suburbs, near suburbs, in depressed neighborhoods, wondering what happened.
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the live lines. Mr. Wells, you're on the Talk of Chicago.
Yeah, I decided to chime in. I'd like to introduce myself to you, Mr. Jackson, and Mr. Is it Harold or Harris?
I'm Mr. Thomas. I thought I had name recognition. Okay. Maze, you're doing great, man.
Okay. But so I'm not in Cincinnati, and I call Leo. And one reason why I do is because a lot of Chicago politics services in other communities, like the community builders, the Midwest branch, they're doing development in my neighborhood in Cincinnati. And I'm real clear about black media having influence out of New York and Chicago on the other 93 black people in the room in the country, because the population of Chicago and New York is about maybe 8% of all the black people in this country, and there's an inordinate influence through New York and Chicago on the talking points. And I want to give that disclaimer about why I call, and I did this with Chris Kelly,
Mr. Wells.
Milwaukee.
I appreciate you, but Mr. Wells, I got only a few minutes, so can you get right to it?
Okay, here's the point. I think before you talk about what's going on in Chicago, we need to back up and clarify the difference in segregation and desegregation as opposed to integration, all right? Desegregation is with the public sector assets, the water fountain, the bus. What happened down in New Orleans with the brother who wanted to ride, who was a light-skinned brother, who wanted to ride with the white folks because he was mixed, and the white folks said, no, you the N-word, get back there with them N. Plessy versus Ferguson. Be real clear the difference in desegregation and segregation as opposed to integration, which is a voluntary choice. All right? One good court case about integration is what happened to the brother in Detroit, Dr. Ocean Sweet. And this is a model for understanding this. Why does the professional black sector in the black community, when they make black money, want to go live with white folks?
Because I think one of the reasons they do that is because they see all of the crime, they see lack of resources, lack of schools, etc. And so when you are living in a community and you see better and you can do better, you want to do better for it immediately for your kids. So you don't have that long runway to be doing it, because your kids are going to run. Your kids, as soon as you have the ability to do better for your kids, you try to do that. So you want to give them the best schools, the best shopping, and put them in the safest environment, which is what everybody wants. We just got to figure out how do we make that a reality in our community. Look, the red buttons, bells are flashing, because, ladies and gentlemen, this weekend starts the Chicago Blues Fest. Now, Charles, you got the lineup over there, but on the live line, let me tell you, we have, on the live line, we celebrating 40 years. Billy Branch and the SOB Sons of Blues, they're going to be celebrated at the Blues Festival, which is opening up today. Now, our own Rhyme Fest will be opening up for Billy Branch, and they'll be doing a special number collaboration on the stage tonight at Millennium Park. Let me tell you, Billy Branch, are you there?
I'm here, Maze.
Billy, first of all, I think I'm a little upset with you, because you were supposed to teach me how to play the harmonica before the Blues Fest.
Hey, you silly young man, brother, but I couldn't, you're a busy man. I couldn't catch up with you, man.
Well, you know what, Billy? You are always doing so many good things in the community. Talk to me about this Blues Fest this weekend and what we can expect.
Well, we're at Millennium Park. Rhyme Fest, the show comes on at 6. And he and I, as you mentioned, will do a collaborative song together. We're looking forward to that because this is the first time a hip-hop artist such as Rhyme Fest has been on the blues stage. And right after that, we're doing the 40th anniversary of my band, the Sons of Blues, the SOBs, which will include the former, past, and current members going back from 1977.
To 1977. Now tell us about this collaboration with you and Rhyme Fest.
Well, it was part of the reason they brought Rhyme Fest in was an effort to expand and diversify the audience in the hopes of bringing some of the younger, more uninformed, uninitiated potential blues fans to the table.
But you know what? Have black folks lost the blues?
Well, that's a very good question, and you can say to a degree, yes. Yes, because as you know, we've had conversations before. Most of us in the city and around the country, we travel around the globe. We're constantly traveling internationally to Europe, South America, even Asia. And the bulk of our fans are not African American. You'd be amazed when you see not only the audience, the fans, but the players and the degree of expertise of the players in, say, Japan or Romania, or some place you would never think they would even know blues, but you find very highly skilled blues harmonica players, guitarists, singers in all of these various countries.
Billy, you know what? Charles, can you give us real quick, tell us some of the big bands that'll be there, because I got to go to break, but just give me about 4 or 5 of the big bands that'll be there.
Okay, we got... aside from the Sons of Blues, we have Demetria Taylor, Mary Lane, and the No Static Blues Band, Nick Moss Band, the Mike Wheeler Band, Guy King, Catherine Davis and the Stone Academy, Blues in the Schools, that is, Eden Brant and the Cedric Burnside Project.
Billy, real quick, we got to go, but I want you to tell us what time is your show, where do people find you today?
Okay. Okay, at Millennium Park, our set begins at 7:15. Rhyme Fest is on at 6 o'clock at the Millennium Park stage. That's right by Randolph off of Michigan.
Ladies and gentlemen, Billy Branch, Chicago blues legend, and the Sons of Blues tonight kicking off the Blues Fest, the Chicago Blues Fest. We'll be back after these messages.
The talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation is 16.
That's your harmonica?
Yep. All right, y'all. We got Arne Duncan coming in the building. Arne Duncan. Shaft. John Shaft. Yo. Hey. What are you doing? What's all that?
Setting up. He's coming in with success
How many we
story
got?
colleague. What's that? 3.
3 people?
3 people.
Hey, get a governor, please.
I'm gonna take him out of here.
Please.
Well, make sure you put him away from the cat, please. Well. All right. Do we have anything? What are we talking about?
Huh?
What are we talking about?
Hey, Sonya, can you play,
Here's the thing. It can be Chicago artist.
pardon?
Chicago artist.
Has to be a Chicago artist?
Yeah,
Even
I guess you got
8:30
one
before we
delay.
start talking about the taste of, has to be Chicago artist.
Your choice.
No problem.
I'm just playing Chicago artist.
But right, we getting ready to do the
We're
line.
gonna talk about the Rhino. Now, I haven't seen a confirmation.
Well, they said Elder Barnes is absolutely going to be here. So, can you put maybe make them play something from him? That, you know, I had some problems, and that one, you know, that one Jersey Million. Huh?
Want me to look for it?
Yeah, you've heard that. What's the name of that song? I don't know. That's the only one I got that he ever did. Arne Duncan. How are you, sir? Good, man.
Arne, we're going to put you right here. Okay. And we're going to put you right here. And I need to get your name.
I'm good.
If you're ready to start, now you know where.
You go by Mr. Secretary now? Huh? Pardon? Mr. Secretary.
Mr. Secretary. What is your name?
Curtis Stone. C-U-R-T-I-S. T-O-L-E-R.
And Curtis, what
We're hearing a lot of numbers these days about symptoms and relief. But the number sufferers
Well,
most
I'm
is zero.
directly
Is it
outreach.
zero nasal
Gotcha.
allergy symptoms? And nothing gets you closer to zero than Nasacort. Because unlike antihistamines that stop
So you're
cause your
recruiting
allergy
me.
symptoms,
Yeah.
Nasacort stops
It also works with some
stopping more and gets you closer to
that's
zero. For 24-hour relief of your worst nasal allergy symptoms, including congestion, choose Nasacort. It stops more and makes you miserable.
One of these races.
Chicago Action Investors, the city's premier true no money down 100% financing real estate investment group wants you. If you have ever wanted to invest in real estate, now is the time. The real estate market is on fire. Here's your chance to earn a piece of the American dream. With Chicago Action Investors, you can flip a property or buy rental income property, all with no money down. That's right, no money down. Our team with over 40 years experience partners with you and takes you through the process step by step. No need to quit your day job to monitor a project. All income types qualify. All you need is a good credit score. Retired and looking to invest in the market? No problem. Low or no income? Chicago Action Investors.
All right, guys.
Looking for a better return on your IRA or 401k? Chicago Investors is the answer. Call them now.
Toller.
800-581-8341. That's 800-581-8341. Check them out online at ChicagoActionInvestors.com. Also on Facebook and Instagram. That's Chicago Action Investors. Hey, America.
Okay, and the program is what?
Chicago Credit.
Say that one more time.
Chicago Credit. C-H-I-C-A-G-O-C-I-D.
And we do what? Exactly. I didn't know they didn't send me a press release. They just said Arne Duncan is coming to the station, and we just supposed to just be like, yo, we just supposed to be like, hey, it's all good.
So Emerson Collective funds us. Our program is called.
Who is Emerson Collective?
This is a retail jobs non-profit. Steve Jobs, Widow, Apple. He funds us. Our nonprofit is called Chicago Code. We're trying to hire
June 18th. This is Unyielding Cartman, Executive Director of Real Men Charities. We are partnering with Fathers and Blessings, BBF on the West Side, Daddy, and Hell's Franciscan High School. At Hell's, we will connect young men with real men who can mentor them. Youth 18 and under with a paying adult will get in free and get free food. There will be workshops, games, and performances. Visit realmencook.com. That's realmencook.com or Real Men Cook Chicago on Facebook.
WVON Blue Light Foundation Not-for-Profit presents the second annual Juneteenth broadcast Monday, June 19th, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Hosted by me, attorney Ernest B. Fenton. Progress delayed is not progress denied. Tune in Monday, June 19th, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. We can continue asking others for opportunities and hoping they're filled. Or we can begin creating more opportunity ourselves. We can complain about Trump and reminisce about Obama, or we can choose now who we want to be the next president. We can talk Black Lives Matter, but are we acting as if Black Lives Matter? Talk is cheap, but progress costs. Juneteenth is not talk radio. It's progress radio. It's reconciliation and revolutionary radio. Tune in Juneteenth Monday, June 19th, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. with me, attorney Ernest B. Fenton. We have assembled some of the foremost thought leaders in our community and devised a program to lay the foundation to execute on our collective ideas. We will be sharing systems and principles to assist you in designing a more fulfilling life for you and your family. Guests who appear at the show include Dr. George Frazier, Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, Dr. Iyanla Vanzant, Susan Taylor, Sister Soja, and Dr. Michael Beckwith. Tune in Monday, June 19th, 6 to 6.
This traffic report is brought to you by Permaseal. Your basement is already dry most of the time, but if you want your basement dry all the time, no matter how hard it rains, you know who to call. Permaseal at 800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-SEAL.
So then I need you to move over just a little bit more. Scoot that way, that'd be great. Why don't y'all all do it like a half a step that way? Bring it all over.
Inbound 57, stop and go between 107th and the Ryan. 2480 to the Ryan. Back out 15. On your inbound push 4, tapping the brakes between 115th and the Ryan. 2580 to 94. Back out 15. On your inbound Ryan. 29 95th downtown. Outbound 15. Now if you're traveling northbound on Lake Shore 67th to Hollywood, you travel 30.
Craig told me to make something about the car side.
Craig who?
With a minor hang-up between Irving Park and North Avenue. Today sunny with a high of 3.
Craig works with y'all?
Yeah.
Cloudy tomorrow with a high of 89. It's 69 at O'Hare, 68 at Midway.
All right, Ma. I got you. How long? What does Craig do for y'all?
Craig comes with our meeting as well, because he's running without it.